Hi, I'm Roy Wiegand, 29-year resident of Burbank.
And I'm Mike Moynihan, a 20-year resident of Burbank and a homeowner, taxpayer, voter. And Roy and I have been friends a long time. We're neighbors and we love Burbank.
Yes, we do. We have found a number of the people in support of Measure B don't seem to know all the facts about such a important issue in our city and something that could have massive impacts on our city and our quality of life.
And so Roy and I thought we might take this opportunity to answer some of the questions that even some of the co-chairs of the Yes on Measure B movement have.
I am Barry Sarna. I'm a 27-year resident of Burbank and one of the co-chairs on the Yes on B measure.
I'm Linda Wamsley. I've lived over 60 years in Burbank. I'm a co-chair of Measure B too. We're both voting yes on Measure B.
I used the airport just the other day and I had quite a long walk to where I was going.
I think you're going to be happy with the new airport because I've heard that the walk to the planes is less. I've heard that getting your bags is going to be better. And I've also heard that it's seismically safe.
Well, Linda, our terminal is seismically safe. And the reason we know that is because if it wasn't seismically safe, then the FAA wouldn't permit operations out of our existing terminal.
And Barry, about your long walk to the airplane, I haven't found an airport yet. Then I've traveled a lot. That's actually a shorter walk than Burbank is to the gates. And I would venture to say, with the terminal that's proposed, if yes passes, which will be 53% bigger than what we have now, your walk actually might be 53% longer.
And I love the fact that we have the outdoor baggage claim because after a long flight, I want to get off that stuffy, crowded plane and get out in that fresh air. And I've been to a few airports around the world that have that, and I appreciate that about Burbank Airport.
It's safe. Well, safer is the first concern that we have for this airport.
Safety has always been the first concern and is presently. The FAA would not certify the airport safe year after year if it wasn't.
Is this a 19-gate terminal?
No, this
No, Linda, the plan, if Measure B does pass, is to replace our 14-gate terminal with a new, larger 14-gate terminal.
So one big concern about that is even though we still have 14 gates, the airport authority has not addressed how many flights could come out of that much larger terminal with the same 14 gates.
And the airport authority has told us that demand is up and will keep growing. So the big concern to residents is, like Roy said, the amount of flights, not the amount of gates.
is not we're keeping the same amount of gates, right? That's already been decided. It's going to be a 14-gate terminal.
For now, Barry, if Measure B passes, the voters of Burbank give away their rights to the supermajority of airport commissioners, and they can vote to increase that number of gates.
It's going to be a 14-gate terminal, but just modern. I think most people agree that as airports go, we're not very modern.
Well, no, our airport's not a modern airport, but residents in Burbank love the Burbank Airport for its historical value to the community. And we also recognize Burbank Airport's place in the history of aviation.
And also, everyone I know will go way out of their way to fly in and out of Burbank as opposed to going to LAX with its more modern facilities.
Yeah.
I know the flight path isn't going to change.
The
and I
flight
know-
path can't change. That's already been determined. That's FAA.
Well, Barry, the FAA says that now, but over the years, the FAA has said a lot of things. Here are some of the things the FAA has said. FAA officials have said that they would allow eastward takeoffs as soon as the old terminal building is raised. Also, the FAA has said when the Southern California Metroplex procedures are implemented, some people might see aircraft where they did not previously fly. This is because some air route changes will occur and because satellite-based procedures create more concentrated flight paths than conventional procedures. So even though the FAA this week said they're not going to change flight paths, in the past they've said they will. So what do we believe?
And the other point I think that we should remind people of is 2 days after this election starts Next Gen, which is the whole new guidance system for airplanes. And we know from the FAA and other cities that already have it, flight paths, routes, elevations, it is changing.
And guess what? In those cities, the airport authorities told residents that they would not be expecting changes of flight paths.
There's actually cities suing the FAA over this right now.
People say, we don't have a cap on flights and we don't have a guaranteed curfew.
Linda, I'm a little confused when you say guaranteed curfew. Burbank has a voluntary curfew.
And I understand that Adam Schiff has been working for a while and will continue to work. I think we're getting closer on the mandatory curfew.
Barry, if you know something the rest of us don't, including our elected officials, we'd really like to talk to you about it. But we've done research on this, and we know that the FAA has not approved a mandatory curfew for any airport in the U.S.
It's been going down, the amount of passenger flow.
Went down by a couple million,
yes,
didn't it?
So no, I don't think there'll be more flights.
Actually, Barry, that's not quite correct. From our own airport authority, the numbers are up. And at a recent community meeting, Lucy Bergdorf was there to field questions. She's the Director of Public Affairs and Communications. And we got this right from the horse's mouth. The question was asked, with a new, larger terminal, should we expect higher passenger numbers? And the quote from Lucy was, well, yes, of course, that's why we're doing this.
Barry, some people say that there are no architectural plans for this new terminal.
Well, Linda, there are no architectural plans. That's why some people are saying there are no architectural plans.
That's right. There are no architectural plans. You can't make plans for an airport until you have a place to put it. And then, of course, people are going to get to decide what that terminal is going to look like.
What people would that be? I know that when we remodeled our house a number of years ago, we had to turn in very detailed plans to the city. They wanted to know everything about our process, what we planned on before we could start construction. So it makes a lot of folks in my neighborhood, myself, very nervous to give all this power to the airport to proceed with a new terminal. These are the same folks that gave us the car rental facility on Hollywood Way across from Fry's, which I vote for as one of the world's ugliest buildings. The estimated price of this new terminal is $450 million. Construction won't be done till 2023. That's their words. That $450 million does not reflect the price that it could be with inflation. That's a big guess to me.
And Barry, you talk about the residents having a say in what the new terminal looks like. We didn't have a say in what the car rental building looks like. That's a monstrosity, and it seemed like it went up overnight. So why should we expect the airport authority to let the residents have a say in what the new terminal would look like?
Very clear. A new, safe, modern 14-gate terminal. Not a bigger terminal.
It will be a bigger terminal.
53% bigger, but with no plans, we really don't know.
So, Linda, you're either uninformed or just not telling the truth, and that's been a big problem with Measure B. And it seems like the yes on Measure B people are just believing what the airport authority wants them to believe. But it's true. The proposed new terminal would be 153% the size of the current terminal. So your claim that the new terminal wouldn't be bigger is just untrue.
A better, safer terminal, and we will get to decide all of that.
Barry, again, I'm a little hazy on who the we is in this equation. Currently, Burbank voters have the power to decide all that. If B passes, we relinquish that power to appointed, not elected, airport commissioners.
Put a big yes on Measure B on the last page of your ballot.
So we hope Burbank residents will join me and Roy and our community and really learn about Measure B and see the negative impacts that it'll have on our community.
Measure B was really rushed onto this ballot. That statement is validated by the fact that we have no concrete details, a lot of open-ended questions on this. We're really being asked to vote on smoke and mirrors.
We invite you to go to the Facebook page you see on the screen now and see what other Burbank residents are saying about Measure B and join us and vote no on Measure B.
Thank you.